Let's get one thing straight from the start. She doesn't stay because you tried hard. She stays because she feels something around you that she can't fake or force. Your effort might get you noticed. Your gifts, your texts, your attention, they might earn you a thank you, but they won't make her stay. That's the part most men miss. You can be the nicest guy in her life and still get replaced. Why? Because effort without emotional impact is just noise. The brutal truth? She stays. For one reason only. How you make her feel in your presence. Not what you give. Not what you say. But how your energy, leadership, and mindset shift her emotions. Here are 5 key truths you need to understand. You can put in all the effort in the world, plan the dates, send the good morning texts, compliment her daily, but none of that matters if she doesn't feel emotionally drawn to you. Most men believe that consistent effort guarantees emotional connection. It doesn't. In fact, trying harder can sometimes push her further away when the emotional bond isn't there. Women don't stay because of how much you do. They stay because of how you make them feel when you're around. That feeling can't be forced with effort. It has to come from who you are and how you show up. If your presence doesn't spark her emotions, if it doesn't make her feel feminine, seen, safe, challenged, or inspired, then your efforts become background noise. They may earn her temporary appreciation but not lasting desire. This is why so many nice guys get left behind. They do everything right, but still get overlooked, because they're focused on doing instead of being. They confuse action with impact. Real emotional impact happens when you're grounded, when you speak with conviction, when you're present without needing attention in return. It's in the way you carry yourself, how you handle pressure, how you lead conversations, and how you maintain your standards. That's what creates the emotional shift she responds to. Not the flowers, not the long texts, not the over-explaining. A woman stays when your presence makes her feel something she can't easily find elsewhere. It's not about how hard you try. It's about how effortlessly you create emotional depth through confidence, direction, and presence. That's the part most men overlook. Because trying harder isn't always the answer. Becoming more grounded, emotionally intelligent, and clear on your value, that's what moves her. That's what makes her want to stay. A woman may be impressed by what you say, but she connects deeply with how you make her feel emotionally. And that emotional connection doesn't come from effort. It comes from your masculine energy. When a man is centered, confident, and calm, he creates a natural emotional safety that allows a woman to relax into her feminine. She doesn't have to take the lead. She doesn't feel pressure to figure things out. She simply feels secure, and that sense of security is what builds attachment far more than any words or promises. Masculine energy isn't about being aggressive or dominant. It's about being grounded in who you are. It's your ability to stay calm under pressure, to make decisions without hesitation, to create certainty without controlling her. When you bring that energy into an interaction, it shifts everything. She no longer has to question where things are going, because your presence speaks louder than anything you say. She feels like she can trust you, not because you convinced her, but because your energy makes her feel safe on a subconscious level. Most men try to impress with effort, but real connection happens when your energy creates a space where she can stop thinking and just feel. That's why she's drawn to certain men without even knowing why. It's the way they hold themselves, the way they speak with clarity, the way they stay composed in moments of tension. That energy signals leadership, control, and direction. And that's what she responds to. She doesn't stay for the guy who needs her to feel okay. She stays for the man who's already okay and invites her into that space. Masculine energy doesn't chase, it attracts. And when a woman feels emotionally safe around you, that's when she chooses to stay without needing to be convinced. Nice guys think sweetness will make her stay. They believe that saying yes to everything, avoiding conflict, and being endlessly agreeable is the path to love. But women don't stay with men because they're nice. They stay with men who are sure of themselves. Certainty is what truly creates attraction. A man who knows what he wants, who speaks his mind without hesitation, and who sets clear boundaries, offers something far more valuable than politeness: direction. Certainty is magnetic because it gives her something to lean into. When a man shows up with confidence in his choices, it eliminates confusion. She doesn't have to guess where she stands with him. She doesn't have to test his limits or take the lead. That clarity is what allows her to relax and trust. And when a woman can trust a man's leadership, emotional connection deepens naturally. Being sweet isn't wrong. It's just not enough on its own. A man can be kind and respectful while still being firm, assertive, and self-directed. It's the combination of compassion and strength that creates true depth in a connection. But when a man is only sweet and constantly seeking approval, it signals insecurity. It shows he's afraid to challenge, afraid to walk away, afraid to stand alone. And that fear kills attraction. She stays with the man she respects, not the one who bends over backward to keep her happy. Respect comes from self-respect, from the willingness to speak truth, hold standards, and act with confidence even when it's uncomfortable. Certainty doesn't come from knowing everything. It comes from trusting yourself deeply. And when a woman feels that trust radiating from you, she instinctively wants to be part of your world. Not because you're trying to win her over, but because your certainty leads her there without force. Women are emotional mirrors. They respond to the energy you bring into an interaction, whether you're aware of it or not. The frame is the emotional and psychological space you create through your mindset, beliefs, and behavior. When your frame is strong, she naturally aligns with it. When it's weak or unstable, she either challenges it or distances herself. A man's frame sets the tone for how the relationship unfolds. And the truth is, she's always reading it, even if nothing is being said directly. If you're calm, focused, and grounded, she feels that. It makes her feel secure and understood, even without words. But if you're constantly reacting, second-guessing yourself, or seeking reassurance, she senses that too, and it erodes trust and attraction. She starts to feel like she has to lead emotionally, and that imbalance is what causes distance. A strong frame doesn't mean dominating or controlling. It means you're rooted in who you are and you don't let external emotions pull you out of alignment. The man who controls his frame never gives away his center. He can listen, empathize, and adapt, but he doesn't lose himself to gain approval. He doesn't panic when she tests him, because he understands that emotional tests are part of attraction. Instead of folding under pressure, he holds steady, and that steadiness is what builds deep respect. When you hold a strong frame, she doesn't feel like she has to lead or question your direction. She naturally relaxes into her feminine energy because she feels your emotional leadership. And once she feels that, she doesn't need constant reassurance. Your presence becomes the reassurance. That's the man she chooses to follow. Not because you asked her to, but because your energy gave her no doubt about who's truly in control of himself. Logic might get her attention, but emotion is what keeps her connected. A woman doesn't stay because the facts line up or because you make sense on paper. She stays because of how you make her feel when she's around you. Too many men try to win women over with their resume, stability, income, good intentions, polite behavior. But relationships don't run on logic, they run on emotion. And if a woman doesn't feel something powerful, unpredictable, or deeply magnetic around you, she won't stay, no matter how many boxes you check. You can't convince a woman to stay. You can't argue your way into her heart. You can't logically explain why you're the right choice and expect that to spark desire, because love, connection, and loyalty are all rooted in emotion, not reason. That's why some women stay with men who don't make sense to outsiders. It's not about logic. It's about emotional intensity. It's about how deeply they feel when they're with that person. If you focus all your energy on proving your worth, you'll miss the point. The question isn't, am I doing enough? It's, how does she feel around me? Does she feel seen, safe, challenged, excited, at peace. Those emotional responses matter more than anything you say or give. And the more you try to reason with her feelings, the more distant she becomes. Instead of convincing her with logic, learn to connect through presence. Lead with emotional awareness. Understand that energy speaks louder than effort. When your energy creates an emotional shift in her, she'll come closer naturally, without needing to be persuaded. She won't stay because you make sense. She'll stay because being with you makes her feel something she doesn't want to lose. That's what anchors her. That's what makes her choose you. Gentlemen, you don't win her with effort. You win her with energy, direction, and emotional intelligence. Don't try harder. Be sharper, be deeper, and lead stronger. That's the man she stays for.